Good afternoon. Thank you, Frank, and welcome everyone. My name is Deena Brecher, and I'm the Scholar in Residence for the Thrive RU program at Ryerson, and it is a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon.
What a delight. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Wayne. I'm Dr. Deena Shaffer. I'm the coordinator of student transitions and retention, formerly with Student Affairs, now within Student Wellbeing. And what a joy. Thank you for hosting us today. So what frames our presentation around coping during this time of COVID, and all that's uncertain and out of our control given the current context? What can we do to bring more health and hope to our days? That's really what's going to guide us today. We offer the following strategies, not as rigid to-dos. There's nothing prescriptive here. We're not offering them as should be doing this or that. It's not glib advice, but rather to support you in both uplifting and grounding your days to help you thrive, even if a little bit more while at home. So first, how to bring shape, or another way to say this is structure to your days. So the first question that many students, or all of us really, professional and student alike, we might be asking ourselves, goodness, with work, with caregiving, with trying to get groceries online, with trying to finish up our courses, how on earth do I know what to do when? There might be growing to-do lists that we're facing. So in a day where the minutes are kind of all swimming together, one very clear and concrete strategy we can try is to prioritize with what's called an urgent and important matrix. You can see that in the left-hand corner of this slide. And it's where you transition what's on your to-do list and put them into those boxes. Some people like actually putting a vertical and a horizontal strip of tape on their wall. Some people like 4 different colored Post-it notes to represent those 4 boxes. And in the top right, you'll see urgent and important. Urgent and important might be something like a 5% paper that's coming up in 2 days. Important but not urgent might be a capstone paper, for example, but it's not going to be due for another 3 weeks. Perhaps there's a class extension. Urgent but not important might be a 1% reflection that's due tomorrow. Really important to contain that and not spend perhaps 5 hours, but to keep the timing proportionate about that. Not important and not urgent might be the other things that can not only be delegated, but even put down for right now, given all that we're trying to hold and plan.
And so what if you just can't seem to get started in the first place? So there's something called the 15-minute rule, which is really simple. It's basically saying to yourself, I'm going to commit to the first 15 minutes of whatever had been in my plan. And if I no longer feel like doing it after 15 minutes, it's okay to put it down. So maybe you're going to do an online exercise class and then you don't feel like doing it. And then you say to yourself, no, I'm going to do the first 15 minutes and then I'll see. And what it does is it really helps helps you get over the barriers of not feeling like it in the moment and allows you to get going and then decide later when you have some momentum. And kind of connected to that is this idea of following the plan, not your mood. So if you have a plan for every day, stick to it and don't stick to how you feel in the moment, because you made the plan, and in days that have no structure, it's easy to flounder. And this is a way to kind of run around that floundering and just do what you've set out to do for yourself.
So, but wait, what if in all of that, how to know when we're done for the day, when these days lack external structure? So it may feel simplest of all to decide at the start of each day 1 or 2 or 3 priority tasks that you'll accomplish. And that once you're through those, then we can put the work down.
So, we're talking about social distancing, but really we're social and we need connection. So let's talk about how do we do connection when we're having to self-isolate. So here's just some ideas about how to nourish relationships that are really important to you. So it's a pretty extensive list, so it might be simply as simple as sending an email or a kind word, sharing a windowed distance, video chats, dinners with friends, so you eat at the same time, each in your own space, online games, paying attention to attitude you feel for the things that are going well. Given the context of so much going wrong, there are still some things going really well. Can you acknowledge that and savor those moments? And can you really appreciate the special relationships in your life? This is a time for connection. And we have to fight against that sense of isolation, particularly if you're living alone or your living situation is not as fulfilling as you would like. So reaching out becomes really important. And so it's the idea of, what about the first text that you send each morning and the last one you send each night? And so it's kind of bookending the day with something positive, because there's so much negative that this has to be the counterpoint.
So we've mentioned shape, so structuring, having some pillars and rhythm to the day. And we've talked about social and the ways that we can actually be connected to each other. Another thing that we can attend to is space, is the physical context that we're working and studying in. So how can you take care of your physical surroundings? You know, there's so little that we have control over. There's so much that feels uncertain. But the space that we're in, this one used to be my kids' nursery and is now my husband and my office, depending on how we toggle the day. How can we take charge of that? So first, look around whatever your living space is. What can you attend to? What can you fix that might have been lying broken for a while? What can you repair to actually take care? What can you recycle or let go of? Does this feel in this moment of spring and in this worldwide experience? What can be let go? Also, what can you start? What can you create, or what can you grow in the physical world around you? So another way to say that is to clean, repurpose, and declutter the space around you as a really purposefully productive activity each day or each week.